ISD District Track and Field track meet. I'm Eli Burke. Joining me is Peter Chung, and we're going to bring you 2 great days of track and field content, so you're not going to miss a beat. There's plenty of stuff for you to be aware of. Peter, what's on the schedule for today?
So today, what you can expect is that up until 1:30, we're going to be covering all the field events for qualifying and for finals. So that's going to be what's on schedule for the first part of this afternoon. After that, we're going to have a couple of hours of break in order to let the races get set up, and then we'll come back with all the races that are going to qualify for the finals that are going to happen tomorrow.
Now, every school has been represented in the district here today. At least one athlete from every school will be running a race, and we will see records being broken. We will see attempts at state records. So who can we expect to see, and what events will be the most interesting for us to watch today?
So I think this spotlight is going to be on the 110-meter hurdles for the girls, just because we're going to see that there's going to be Simone Watkins from Frisco High School, who's on track to not only beat the district record, but the state record as well. So watch out for Simone Watkins, who's going to be a very, very strong force to be reckoned with.
A lot to look out for too. We're going to see a lot of preliminary races today, a few finals in the field events, and as well as the 3200. But there's going to be a lot for us to get unpacked into. So we'll be right back after these messages. Thank you for watching the mascot for the 2019 Frisco ISD Track and Field Meet. Jacob, is that ours?
You have my Wi-Fi now, right? Oh, is it this one?
Because yours is on your back pocket. Thank you everyone for tuning into the Frisco Sports Network today for the 2019 Frisco ISD track and field meet. Today we have a lot of finals in the field because right now we have the girls long jump, boys shot put, and girls pole vault all going down, as we can see on the ends of the fields here. And then at noon we will see the girls shot put and boys long jump finals, and then we'll have a break in between then. And tonight at 5:45 we'll see the girls 3,200 meter final, and the boys 3,200 will be 15 minutes later than that at 6 p.m. So it's going to be a lot to look into today, a lot of coverage today and tomorrow, because we also have some preliminary heats from 4 to 6:30. There are the boys and girls 4x100, 100 and 110 hurdles, the 100 meter dash, 4x2 relay, the 400, 300 hurdles, and the 200. So there's a lot of running to do, a lot to catch up with. And Peter, what can we expect to see from all of our great athletes here tonight?
So I want us to focus a bit more on the boys shot put event. I mean, look at flight 3 of 3 finals. You have Will Harbor of Reedy and John Ogbede of Centennial, who are within 1 feet of each other when it comes to the boys shot put. So watch out for that. That's going to be a very tight competition because the third place guy is 5 feet below them. So when you're looking towards a strong competition between the top two, you want to watch out for John Ogbede and Will Harbor. And then also you have girls long jump and girls pole vault, where they're both going to be very, very competitive, especially in the final flights, with flight 3 and flight 3 of girls pole vault and flight 3 of girls long jump both being very competitive.
Not only is the field event going to be so close, but our track events too. As we said in the pregame show, Simone Watkins is on track, looking to break that state record that is held for about 3 or 4 years now, and in the hurdles events. And the way that she could do that, represent Frisco IC in the best way possible.
Absolutely, and I want just for us to focus on the girls' long jump a bit more. You look at Sonia Ford of Liberty High School, who's within 2 inches of Frisco Heritage's Charlie Foreman, and you're gonna want to see that competition and see how they push each other. Because right now they're the clear front runners in that event. Make sure you watch out for that because you see girls' long jump going on right now. That's gonna be a very intense competition.
Yeah, a lot of girls we're going to see. I don't know if we have gone as in depth as we have gone looking at that, but as we just saw Faith Nazi jump there, getting good. I apologize, getting good distance. Her qualifying distance here was 15 feet 9 inches, and a lot of that is within the same. We see a lot of the distances that these long jumpers are going were relatively within 1 feet of each other, which will go for a very close final, very close medaling, and we'll see who will climb that podium at the end of the day.
Yeah, absolutely. And you're going to see a strong showing by Heritage here in the Flight 2 finals for girls long jump, just because out of the top 5 distances, they have, or out of the top 7 distances, they have 3 of those 7, which means they're the only school in that range that has that many strong jumpers for that event.
So once we have more, we will get back to you on our stats as the long jump is going on for the final. We'll see who will take home first, second, and third. Thank you for watching Frisco Sports Center. We'll be right back after these messages. Welcome back, everyone, to the Frisco Sports Network. At the line for the long jump right now from Reedy is Emerson Palazzo. She qualified for this with a jump of 14 feet 9 inches. Let's see if she can break her personal best. Falling forward, which is good because they mark the backmost point.
And that's always something you want to see with a long jump, that they're falling forward. If you see them leaning back towards the end, that's going to count against them for distance, just because that also means their back heel is going to end up further back than it should be.
And the Reedy school record for long jump girls is held by Naomi Adeyemi with a result of 17 feet 1.5 inches. So that's a lot to beat, about 3 feet past Emerson's record, her personal best there. But as we were talking about earlier with the shot put going down on the other side of the field, Will Harbor has been tearing it up ever since he started track, holding Reedy's current record in shot put with 47 feet 4.5 inches, which is unbelievable for a junior to throw. And he has even more time to improve, more time to shine here at the district meet.
Yeah, again, but don't sleep on John Ogbede of Centennial High School, who has a distance of 46 feet 1 inch. He's just a foot away, and I expect at the time from districts qualifying to now, he's gonna have gotten stronger. He's gonna have gotten the better distance in order for him to improve and catch up to Will Harbor.
We're just getting started here today. These are only our first couple events. We have plenty of finals and plenty preliminaries coming rest through this morning and the afternoon.
Alright, and while you're doing that, I'll swap up.
In our girls long jump varsity event, we have 21 total jumpers jumping for the girls. For the boys who will be jumping a little bit later, we will see that they have 25, and a lot of names are coming up. We see a lot of great qualifiers, really close. The highest mark I'm seeing right now is from Darius Blackman of Reedy High School, jumping with 22 feet and 5 3/4 inches. So it's going to be a lot to see who can catch him, because I know growing up he's had a and it's putting to well use right here.
I just want you to look towards the top four jumpers in the boys' long jump. You have Darius Blackman, who you just talked about, but also look towards Torrin Pittman, Khalil Harris, and Evan Stewart. They're all past the 22-foot mark, and so really see the fact that they're going to be there, right there with Darius Blackman. I mean, there's literally just 3 inches that separates those 4 jumpers, so that's going to be a very, very close competition for the boys' long jump.
In such tight competition like that, every inch will matter. How you land, how you fall, your last foot, like how much you're going to jump off of. Every single step counts in an event like this.
Absolutely. And I just want to go towards our girls pole vault for a bit. We have It looks like Kristen Masucci of Liberty High School who's up next, and she is the leader for the girls pole vault right now. She has a height of 12 feet 3 inches, which is by far from a distance of 4 inches higher than any other pole vaulter for the girls in the district right now. So she's the heavy favorite going in, and hopefully for her, she's going to keep that distance between them, her and the competition.
Pole vault is not an easy event at all. It's a lot using your entire body weight to get up on that pole, get over the mark, and not touch a thing.
Absolutely, and when you're pole vaulting, getting up there and getting your whole body weight up onto the top of your bar is one of the struggles. But I think the even bigger one is arching your back well enough to go over the bar. Because right now, if you go straight up, that's not going to be enough to get over that 12-foot mark. She has to do even more with her body, arching it, getting her back over the bar in order for her to kick her legs up and get over that in order for her not to let that bar fall.
Certainly not an event for those who are afraid of heights.
Yeah, I don't think I could ever do that.
Now at the line for Wakeland High School is Emily Kumi, who's wearing a knee brace right now. So let's see if she can get off of that. Looking as of right now, she's a left foot jumper, so it should not phase her too much. But let's see how she does. And here she goes. Good plant. She tries to get over, and she clears it with ease.
That was very, very close, closer than it should have been. The one thing I would have said is that she forgot to kick her legs up in order to make the clearance a bit easier, but the job was done. She got the height, and then she's moving on to her next height. She has a couple more jumps to go for her to reach her max, but we'll see how well she does.
Now looking at the pole vaulters, we have 11 vaulters here, and that ranges from 7-foot mark to a 12-foot 3-inch mark. So as we said, so it looks like there is a little variation, but anything can happen here at the district meet. Now at the line is Lauren Taylor Parrott from Frisco Lone Star. She sets off.
Not yet. We're working on it.
Good plant, kicks over and clears it with ease.
That was beautiful form right there. I mean, the way she ran up, first of all, perfect form. She brought up speed. That's one of the most important things when it comes to pole vault. Having strong speed in order to go up to the get up to the bar in order for her to have that momentum to clear that bar. And she got the height she wanted and able to. And it was an easy clearance for her. That was clear to see.
Now here's Sarah Bartley from Centennial High School. Let's see how she marks up as she gets ready. Trying to beat a personal best of 9 feet 3 inches. Sorry, 11 feet 3 inches. And she is unable to get over that mark without clearing it. She might have another jump coming in later, but she's going to have to improve a lot.
That's the good thing about pole vault. You don't just end right there. You're going to have a couple more jumps to be able to clear your height and then move on to the next one. That's always the beauty of this sport. But unfortunately for her, she wasn't able to get the right form. Her speed was also lacking. You could tell that she was very hesitant when it came up to getting to the bar. So part of the reason as to why she wasn't able to clear it, but hopefully she gets some more momentum going in and she's able to clear it on her next try.
Now here's one we like to call the favorite of this event here. 6 inches over the rest of her competition. It's Kristen Masucci from Liberty High School. A little shaky there with that knee brace, but with a wobbling mark, she gave able to get over.
Yep, and that's what you expect from the favorite. When you get to those heights that everyone else is doing, you're able to clear those pretty easily, and she's able to do that. It was a bit close because you saw the bar wobbling, but a clearance is a clearance, so good for her.
Looks like Bartley's going to go back up to the line for Centennial. Sets up, gets good speed, plants, and this time she clears it almost falling off the mat.
Yeah. And that's what I said exactly about momentum. I mean, you need to go have momentum in pole vault in order to get past the bar easily enough. She did that, nearly getting herself off the mat, but good for her. She did a really good job of getting forward momentum in the sense that she was able to get up and push forward with her bar, using her body weight against the bar in order to make it a bit easier for herself.
Now, arriving to the stadium, we're going to see a lot of our track athletes getting ready because in about an hour, we're going to start the girls' shot put and boys' long jump finals. So we're going to have even more medals to give out, more podiums to clear, and it's going to be a lot of exciting finishes here today. Thank you for watching the Frisco Sports Network. We'll be right back. Welcome back, everyone, to the Frisco Sports Network broadcast of the 2019 District Track and Field Meet. At the line right now from Lone Star High School is Taylor Parrott. See if she can beat her best of 9 feet 3 inches and move on, attempting to get onto that podium. Gets good speed. Good kick over, but she cannot control the rest of her body as it knocks down the mark.
Yeah, and that's where we go into the body, the form of your body when you're going up on pole vault. You have that driving force up with your legs in the beginning with the pole vault, but then once you get to that top, you have to arch your body over in order to make sure your butt doesn't hit the bar and knock it over, right? And so that's what didn't happen for her. When it came to her, her back was the reason as to why the bar fell over. Again, not enough arch. She wasn't able to get over that bar.
It's just technique, something that can be easily fixed here in the meet. All that training should not go to waste.
Yeah, and that's something that these coaches go over every single day with their students, in the sense that they make sure that these kids, they have the proper technique when it comes to it. Because if you don't have the proper technique, you can get hurt in these events.
Jumping right there was Leah Roan from Heritage High School, clearing that bar with ease. Here, her best is also 9 feet 3 inches.
On air, if you can hear me, just give me a thumbs up in front of the camera. Awesome, finally.
Now jumping for Reedy High School is Lauren Guthrie.
And she's one of the top 3 contestants in this event.
Her personal best for qualifying is 2 feet above Leah Roan, who just jumped. Hers is 11 feet 3 inches. depending.
Her bar was too far forward, and so she wasn't able to get that proper momentum going forward, and so she fell a bit short when it came to the bar. But I mean, look at the top three contestants: Kristen Masucci, Chloe Taylor, Lauren Guthrie. They're all at least 11 feet high, or their personal bests are at least 11 feet high, and that's 2 feet ahead of everybody else. And so these are the three contestants you want to watch. Up next, obviously, we're gonna have. Um, it looks like It looks like it's going to be Emily Kumi from Wickland.
She was not able to get over the bar there, knocking it down. Maybe that knee injury she experienced was a little too much. Trying to get through, but looks like it's just not going to match up right here.
Here we have another Lone Star kid, it looks like. Taylor Parrott, who's ready to go and jump.
Warming up behind her is Guthrie looking for another attempt. And here she goes. Up and into the bar, not able to get over. Looking a little frustrated with herself there.
Once again here, she is combining kind of the two motions of going up and then forward. So when it comes to pole vault, there's two motions that are essential when you go over the bar. First, going up in order to get the height, and then second, pushing yourself forward using the momentum of the bar. She kind of combined those two, so she went diagonally in that sense, and that's why she hit the bar first. She wasn't able to get over it right there.
Now here's Guthrie trying to avenge her previous attempt.
Obviously one of the favorites, so hopefully she's able to get over this bar.
This time she does, proving that the last one was not a fluke, but the pole actually knocks down the bar there.
I think it's still going to count just because it was clear that her whole body went over. The pole hitting the bar doesn't really take a factor into account as long as it wasn't hit before she went over. Next, it looks like another kid from Wakeland High School. Or Centennial, actually, which makes it Sarah Bartley, who has a personal best height of 8'6", but she, again, not able to go over the bar.
Looks like the other competition was just too much for her getting over that bar. Back at the line is Parrott from Lone Star, one of the few that are still in this.
That jumper from Centennial was actually Abby Gilday, who's a junior from Centennial's track and field team. So she has been building up. She was on JV last year, but having an opportunity here today, not able to go over the bar. So hopefully she's gonna get a third chance, and let's see if she can get over that bar.
Stopping. Maybe she didn't like the way she approached the bar there.
Yeah, and you always want to make sure you put your safety first when it comes to the events. If you push yourself and you feel like a step's off for even one moment, you can end up hurting yourself right here.
Either getting hurt or not getting your full potential on every jump.
Yeah. Again, that's another thing to do with momentum right there.
Looks like she's going to give it another go. Psyching herself up, getting ready to come down that aisle hot. Looks like she's about ready to go. Here she comes. Getting a good plant, but not able to lift her whole body, using all that strength to get up on that pole. Looks like that bar might have just been a little bit too high for her comfort.
It looks like it's going to be a Wakeland girl who's next. Or it looks like they're going to take a bit of a break before they go on to the next jumper. So we'll be back after this short commercial break.
All right, y'all. Love the hustle. You can keep doing breaks, but there is no commercial breaks, so just keep that in mind.
And now lining up at the line is the favorite of the competition, Kristen Masucci from Liberty High School.
She's the one that has a height of, let me check right here.
12 feet 3 inches.
Yep, which is 4 inches above the next competition. So
It's actually 6 inches above the next level of the competition. And it looks like she's ready to go. They raised the bar, used a new method, and here she comes.
and obviously her first jump is going to be a bit higher than the others.
Looks like she got tangled up there. Not working with a bar anymore, more of an elastic mark.
And that's for the practices. So I think they're going on to the second flight right now, and they're just letting these kids practice because the first flight's over. But obviously, Kristen Masucci, her first jumps are going to be higher than the flight ones just because she is the favorite for this competition. Ooh, good jump by the person that was doing that warm up. But watch out for Kristen Masucci from Liberty High School.
Unless I'm mistaken, our stat sheet only has one flight for the pole vault.
But I think it makes sense for them to split it up into two sections. Even though it's one flight, they split it up into two separate sections because having people warm up, having all 11 of them warm up at once is not going to be really beneficial. So splitting up into like 5 and 6 groups of 6 and 5 and allowing for them to warm up in that sense is going to be able to be a bit more efficient for them.
But what they could be doing is just getting prepared for a higher mark. Maybe it's a little out of the range for some of these jumpers to see who can handle it, and maybe if they need to lower the bar at all.
Absolutely.
Here's Masucci again.
And you see Chloe Taylor from Memorial as well, practicing right there. She's the runner-up right now for the qualifying distance or heights at least right now. She has a height of 11 feet 9 inches. So she's going to be trying to catch up to Masucci right there.
So while the pole vaulters are warming up for their next height, let's shift our attention to the long jump, where heritage jumpers have just taken it. Now our Lone Star jumper, Gabrielle Miller, is set to take the line.
Her best distance so far this year is 17 feet 5 inches, which is a good 1 foot behind Charlie Foreman, who's in second place. So she's going to try to improve her distance. Don't expect her to get past that top 2 range, but we'll see how she can do.
Now the real competition in the long jump for the girls is going to be between Charlie Foreman from Heritage and Sonia Ford from Liberty, with their jumps 2 inches apart from each other. She clears that, gets good distance, no faults there.
And one of the most important things when it comes to long jump is the sense that you have to make sure your foot isn't too far back, or else you're not going to get the proper distance from the white line. Or if it's too far forward from the white line, you're going to be faulted for that. And that's going to get rid of one of your tries right there. So being able to be perfect with your steps while you're running up and being able to hit that white line every single time to maximize your distance will be able to help them be as efficient as possible for them.
Starting at the line is another Heritage jumper. This is Charlie Foreman. Good jump, clearing it, great distance off the line.
Looks like Sonia Ford from Liberty is right up next. She's the favorite right now.
At the best qualifying distance, it looks like she is the field events, but the track events as well.
There she goes. Good speed going up. And great distance. That's got to be very close to her personal best, and I think it's the highest distance so far today. She was able to clear that when you see that. She cleared it properly without having a fault. She's going to be happy with that distance, but obviously she has a couple more to go to try to beat that. But again, showing why she's the favorite today.
Not only is Ford one of the favorites in the long jump, but she's also one of the heavy favorites in the 100 and 200 meter dashes.
And there's where you see these dual athletes come into play, where they have not only field events to do, but also track events. And so you're going to want to make sure they don't run run themselves into the ground before they get to the field events. But that's why they have this 1 day break in between Wednesday and Thursday they have this break between Wednesday and Thursday for them to rejuvenate, get ready for the racing events.
And speaking about those kind of two-sport athletes, a lot of the guys that we're going to see here tonight, especially from Wakeland's relay team, Frisco's relay team, a lot came from the football field, especially.
But right now, I mean, you look towards Fight 3, the top two contestants, Will Harbor, John Ubede. Will Harbor, who is a running back for the Reedy football team, John Ubede, who's a defensive end for the Centennial football team. You're going to have these dual athletes in play because they're just beasts athletically. That's why they're going to be successful on this on their events as well in the field.
Will Harbor, obviously famous for being one of the top prospects in Frisco ISD. Looking to see a lot from him after high school into a collegiate football career. Or maybe track if this goes well.
Yeah, you never know. Or just do both at college level as well.
We've seen a lot of those recently, specifically Kyler Murray, who's looking to be drafted in the NFL in just a few short weeks.
Yeah, choosing that over baseball, but we'll see if he can be more successful as well.
Looks like he thinks football's where the money is, even though we see all those great contracts through Major League Baseball with the re-signing of Mike Trout, Bryce Harper, all of these great athletes getting millions of dollars for multiple years.
He's just he has good problem in his hands, being spoiled with money.
When you're good at what you do, why not exploit it? Looks like we're taking a break. We're going to shift back to pole vault. It looks like they're ready to set up now.
That looks like a Lone Star pole vaulter,
It's
Taylor
actually-
Parrott.
It's actually Leah Ronan from Heritage.
Oh, okay. Not able to get over that bar. You see that ball falling, or that bar falling. So she's not going to get her first jump right. Hopefully, she's going to have a couple more to go. But we have Reedy up next. That's going to be Lauren Guthrie, who's again one of the top 3 contestants in this event.
Lauren Guthrie, a little shaky starting off this pole vault, but looks like she might be able to find her groove here, getting a deeper run back, getting more speed as she attempts to get over this high mark.
You saw her struggling during warm-ups. We'll see if that struggle is going to translate to what's going on right now. She's going to hope it doesn't because she really needs to catch up to, I believe it is Kristen Masucci.
One important factor, as she's able to clear that with ease, the pole knocking the bar down. It's just the height of that pole is just too much for that bar.
Yeah, and with momentum, it's going to fall forward nearly every single time.
One thing you're going to expect is with these athletes going through warm-ups, that they need to keep their they need to stay mentally strong too, because if they're screwing up through warm-ups, they will not have the greatest attitude going into their physical jump for the qualifiers in the final in this case, where if you aren't going to be the best in your warm-ups, that will potentially affect your final jump.
Chloe Taylor, the second favorite from Memorial High School. Let's see how she does. It looks like she's going to have the same height as Lauren Guthrie.
Appreciate your business. Also, session 2 will begin at 12 p.m. High noon. We'll have first call will be the boys and girls.
Taylor running up.
The boys long jump and boys
Getting over there nice and easy.
And that's what you expect from one of the 3 favorites of this competition. I mean, she's a competitor. She's going to look towards beating Kristen Masucci, who's up next.
Those last 3 jumpers we're going to see. Guthrie, Taylor, Masucci.
Strong competition between those 3.
We might see this competition go deep.
We'll have
Yeah.
first call.
Personal records will most likely be broken today.
First call, girls shot put. First call for the boys long jump.
And Masucci clearing it with ease as well. So you see the first 3, or the top 3 competitors that we're expecting to see in Guthrie, Taylor, and Masucci. all three clearing their first jump as expected, and you're going to see them clear a bit more until they reach their final jump, which is going to be the max they expect they can get in order to win this competition.
Masucci's qualifying jump is actually the current Liberty School record with 12 feet 3 inches.
And that's why she's the favorite of this event as well, because she's been breaking records not only at her school, at her own school, but she's looking to break some records in the district as well.
And another record we can watch out for is that Alyssa Griffin holds the current Reedy record for pole vault with 11 feet 6 inches, but Lauren Guthrie, as we have mentioned multiple times, is right behind her, only 3 inches back.
It looks like Lauren Guthrie's first jump was 9 feet 6 inches, so she has a couple of feet more to go to reach her height, but we can expect her to do well here.
Masucci doing what she does best as she lines up, looking to beat her own personal and school record. Now to beat the district record, Masucci has to look for 13 feet 6 inches to tie that, although she's unable to get over this pole right here.
Just a couple of notes from the ones that have gone so far. Jason Avery from Independence hit 10 feet. Emily Kumi from Wakeland hit 10 feet as well. You have Regina Cueva from Wakeland getting 11 feet. Abby Gilday from Centennial 12 feet, which is nice. Sarah Bartley.
We do have a few freshmen jumping. That is Emma Myers and Taylor Parrott from Wakeland Lone Star. It's good to see that we have freshmen jumping or participating in all these events, because that means that at the varsity level, they can improve much on their skills, not just as an athlete, but as a teammate to the rest of these guys that they're going to grow up with through the high school, looking towards college, and that will just make their school's track team stronger overall.
And you see Taylor Parrott from Lone Star, who I haven't talked about a bit, but she's also the record holder for Lone Star's pole vault with a height of 9 feet 3 inches.
And while we were looking at records, the district track record for the pole vault girls is 13 feet 6 inches held by Frisco High School, but the state record is only 3 inches past that, held by Desiree Fryer back in 2013 from Northwest High School, jumping 13 feet 9 inches. So although there's a long way to go for Masucci, it's definitely still within reach.
Yeah, and 3 inches seems like a small amount to us, but to these competitors, it looks like a mountain for them.
Size doesn't matter. Peter and I are going to hop off here a little bit. We're going to switch it off to Prabat Sealam City and Christian Dutcher. Thanks, guys. Introduce yourself.
Hello and welcome back to inside historic Frisco ISD Memorial Stadium for the 2019 Frisco ISD District Track Meet for UIL Region 9-5A. I'm Christian Dutcher alongside Prabat Sealam Seti. Coming up at noon, we have coverage of the boys long jump finals, but for now we're taking you over to the East End for girls pole vault. Over on the East End, they're setting up for Frisco Memorial, or Frisco Memorial's Taylor Chloe, who qualified with a time of 11:09. And she clears it just like that. Frisco Liberty's Masuki Kirsten, and she does not clear the mark.
Just not able to get enough height right there on that pole vault jump. Good form on the way up, but wasn't able to finish it on the way down.
Totally agree.
And a lot of that, what we've seen today with the pole vault so far, is that a lot of these girls are able to get the form correctly, and they're able to get the pole in the direction that they want, but the height just hasn't been there so far, as they've been increasing the height periodically throughout the day. It's been tough for some of them.
Right. Coming up next is Frisco Reedy's Lauren Guthrie, who qualified at a time of 11:03. School record is currently held by Alyssa Griffin at 11:06. Here she comes. And it is cleared.
And that was impressive right there. One of the first ones we've seen in a while. Again, great form on the way up. You could see through her eyes the determination. She was running down the lane. She looked ready to go. Got a good placement on the pole. Was able to get up and over the pole. Over the line, excuse me. And great start for her.
Couldn't agree more. Coming up back to the plate is Kirsten Masuki from Frisco Liberty, qualified at a mark of 12:03. School record for Liberty is held by her, fun fact, at the same height in which she qualified at.
You think there's a chance we could see her break that record today?
Is very possible. However, not after she doesn't clear that one. That's the second one we've seen her not pass, and I believe there is only one more chance in order to hop over that, or else she will not be moving on to the next height.
Well, it looks easy from up here because me and you, we're in the broadcast booth and we can kind of just look down and say, it's not that high. But when you go down there and you have to use the pole, you don't know which way it's going to bend, which way it's going to turn on you. So it takes a lot of arm strength, especially in the tricep, to keep the pole down and in the direction you want. And then on top of it, once you get there, you've got to be able to get over the line. And that takes a lot of energy. So not easy to do what these girls do. A lot of respect to them.
Right. Just imagine standing up against a 13-foot stand and trying to jump over that with only a stick. That, to you and me, that may sound really hard, but to them, that's daily work. So, props to them. Kirsten Masuki is going to make her last attempt at the girls' pole vault. Again, her seed time was 12:03. Currently holds the school record.
And this one's big for her. Like you said, this is her last chance, so she's got to make something happen. You can see she's trying a different stance at the beginning, trying to get something else different, doing some jumps.
Right.
Now I guess she's just taking a breather before it finished setting up the line for her to run through.
Giving herself a break. It's hard to do them back to back, and usually you have these, they go between each other, but she's the only one who is having to do her third turn, and she just went. So took a lot of energy out of her. Totally understand her taking a little bit of a break, getting herself together, getting in game mode.
And with this one just being her last one, you've got to think there's a lot going through her mind. I mean, you look at these girls, they look pretty calm and collected, but there's a lot on the line right here.
And she's running, she jumps, and clears it on the last attempt. She will be moving on to the next height.
And that's what we call an adrenaline rush. This is your third one. You have to get across it. Those muscles, the blood through your muscles starts flowing. You get some adrenaline pumping through your veins, and then you're able to clear that one.
And what a sigh of relief that is for her and Liberty, who will be moving on to the next height. I wish we could. The two girls that are moving on to this height from Reedy High School is Lauren Guthrie, and from Frisco Liberty is Kirsten Masuki. Lauren Guthrie qualified at a height of 11:03. Kirsten Masuki qualified at a height of 12:03. Lauren Guthrie comes up and clears it easily. She'll be moving on to the next height.
And she has definitely been the standout here amongst this group. She's cleared it every time so far, and that one, she had to get a little bit of oomph right there, just barely clearing the line, but so far she has been pretty solid today. And Christian, I would say she's been the best one so far out of these three, out of these two now, actually.
Pardon me, we do have a third one. Chloe Taylor did pass the last height. She qualified at a height of 11:09, and she's going up and doesn't clear it. She'll have two more attempts on this run.
Great attempt right there. They come up so close, and really, the pole vault is a game of inches. We say that a lot about football and a lot about these other sports, but really, this game this event, I should say, is really just a matter of inches. That line is very sensitive. It's meant to be where if you touch it, it's coming down. So these girls, they have to really project themselves not just above it, but nowhere close to it, because they could be well above the line, but if their toe touches it, maybe the side of their elbow, that thing's coming down.
Yes, it is. Kirsten Masuki clears this one easily as well. Maybe a little nervous energy on that last one, but not on this height. She will be moving on to the next height, and we will see Chloe Taylor on her second attempt at this height.
And I think now we're starting to see some momentum building in Masuki. First two tries, she wasn't able to get it, and then finally on the third one, she got it, and now this one on a higher height, she does in her first time. Maybe she's finding a rhythm, finding something she likes when she's doing a run-up.
Right. As you were saying earlier, this is a game of inches, quite literally, and 1 inch makes the difference between you being the state record holder and you just being another one of the pack.
Exactly, yeah. I mean, you go look at the state records, it's a matter of maybe, I don't know, they might, I'm not that fluent in pole vault, but I would have to guess they're going to be, I mean, a matter of maybe not even inches, even closer than that. I mean, as Christian will do our check, of course, because he's a great play-by-play commentator. But, I mean, it's really a matter of inches as our next contestant goes up.
And Chloe Taylor does not clear it. She hits the pole, and she will have one more attempt to make it over this height, or will be relegated to not being the district champion, obviously.
Whenever y'all get a chance, you can switch over to long jump, starting back up.
We'll take a quick shift to long jump whenever that is able to start up, but we're going to finish out pole vault here and see how this ends. You know, a lot of people don't have a lot of respect for pole vault. They kind of take it as like one of the more boring track and field events. But when the height starts going up and then you start eliminating or you start weeding out the lower part of the pack, it gets pretty interesting.
Yes, it's very impressive for these girls who are able to accomplish more than we could ever imagine. Chloe Taylor again will have one more attempt. She's getting herself prepared, stepping up to the plate, as you would say. The state record holder for pole vault girls is Desiree Freyer, who has 13:09. So just like we said, the difference between the district record and the state record is literally a matter of 5 inches. So every inch matters in this sport.
Definitely a lot in this sport. She gets ready for her final attempt. I think we could see one of these adrenaline spikes.
Let's see. She goes up and clears it. She will be moving on to the next round. We'll keep an eye on this event, but let's go ahead and switch over to the girls' long jump. The district record is 19 feet and 7 inches for this event. State record is 21 feet, 3.25 inches for this event. Stepping up to the plate is Frisco High School's that was Frisco High School's Lainey Wise.
And a decent jump right there. Didn't get the distance that she wanted. I know she wasn't happy with that result. Definitely not a bad jump, but we've definitely seen some longer ones here today. Didn't quite get the distance that she wanted.
Coming up for Lebanon Trail, this is Sophie Knotts, who currently holds her school record at 17.9.25.
I think we have a chance to see that get broken today. I mean, like, Lebanon Trail is a relatively new school, so the records that they are setting are pretty, in essence, the first timers. So, and these are set from last year, obviously, so you can definitely expect her to improve throughout this day, especially from last year as well.
Certainly. Coming up next is Heritage's Caitlin Bradford, who is getting set.
I like her posture. I like the way she's setting up before this run. She looks ready to go.
And she jumps. Good jump by Frisco Heritage's Caitlin Bradford. Coming up is her teammate, Charlie Foreman, who seated at a time of 18:07. Compare that to Heritage's school record of 18:11.25, and just like we were saying earlier, a matter of inches gets you there. Do we see a possible school record for Heritage?
I think we do. I really do think we do. Every year, you get new records, and so the students are kind of motivated in a way to try and break them. So they set their records for themselves each year. That's why we see so many records get broken every single year. These students have new marks that they kind of set for themselves, new goals to attain.
And it's worth saying that most Frisco schools are relatively new. So to break the school record is something that is constantly changing. A good mark for her.
And Heritage has been showing out today. Some really good jumps so far. And you can see she's ecstatic about it. She comes back to the huddle, hands up, waving to her friends, and as she should be. It's a great jump.
Very happy about that result for her. Coming up is Frisco Heritage's Zoe Hightower, who qualified at a time of 17:01. She takes the jump, and an amazing jump by Zoe Hightower.
That's a great spot right there for Hightower. I mean, you looked at it at first. I mean, the whole run, she just looked ready to go. She had great form on the way up, hands moving left and right. That's what they taught us in 6th grade. That's how they taught us to run, left and right by our hands. Not everyone had to follow it, but that's what they taught us when we were in 6th grade. And then she put that to use right there, and really she got some good distance. I mean, most of the people you see running here today kind of land on their rear end, kind of like as they're trying to maximize it, but she didn't have to do that. She's just got a really good jump right there.
And lots of credit goes to those Frisco ISD coaches for being able to give us those skills for high school. Obviously, amazing careers.
And another one right there, another really good jump.
Coming up is Frisco Liberty with Sane Ford. She seated at a time of 18:09, the best out of the district. Compare that with the school record, which she holds, of 18 and 8.5, and she has broken that school record just seating. We'll most likely see a school record today. Although, not on that run, as she does not seem happy about that result. Kind of fell over. She didn't like the footing she had.
We say it's not a good run. I mean, for her, it's not a good run. But in general, that was one of the farthest ones we've seen today. But like you said, just good. I would say good form on the run there. Just didn't finish out the way that she wanted. You see a lot of these long jumpers when they jump out, it's dangerous because you don't want to hurt yourself or kind of like sprain your ankle. But what they do is they put their toes out forward and they kind of lean their backwards to kind of maximize where their feet land, because the long jump isn't about where your body lands, it's where your feet first make contact. So they kind of like essentially almost go like 180 and just kind of angle themselves in a way that will maximize the distance of their toes. As we get an announcement from the PA.
Stepping up is Frisco's Avery Thorpe, who qualified at a time of at a distance, I should say, of 17:0. Compare that to the school record, which also happens to be the district record, of 19:7. Obviously, that's discouraging because she did really well, an amazing jump. However, this record is just set so high that it almost seems like that is unattainable, but she really has done some great work today.
And a decent jump right there. You saw her, she had great form, but near the end she kind of decelerated on her attempt and kind of cost her on that one right there. Not able to get the distance that she was hoping for. And when you bring up as the next Lebanon trail runner goes up and gets very good distance right there, you bring up how it can be discouraging. I can agree sometimes when you look at the records and some of the people they've set. I mean, these aren't just always recent. Like some of these, especially on long jump, they go back years, maybe 5-10 years. It goes a while back. Maybe not this one specifically, but you look at them and it can be discouraging. But it's also a great way to motivate if you're a coach especially, to motivate your runners to go attain that goal, because it is hard to do. But when you put in the work and you're able to pull something off like that, it's almost an accomplishment, something that these athletes really work towards to.
Right, you are. We're going to head to watch Frisco Independence's um, Jaden Hubbard from Independence. As I said, 15:01 seed time for her. Coming up behind her is Heritage's Zoe Hightower with a seed time, or seed distance, again I should say, of 17:01. Doing the little rocking back and forth we've seen. What advantage do you think that has for these runners?
I think it's kind of like when you work out beforehand. You're kind of just getting your body loose, getting your muscles ready to jump. I think when you take off and when they move their legs back, it's kind of like prepping their muscles before that final jump they take as they're about to take off.
And there she goes. She jumps. Not the best jump we've seen, however, still very impressive for her. Again, here we see the best of the district, and so nothing here is a bad jump per se. However, compared to others, some mark up better.
You see the cleanup crew right there. Always got to make sure that they put in sand because, as I said earlier about safety, when the players jump, they move the sand everywhere and it gets everywhere. And then the density of the sand is kind of what protects these players, or these runners, I should say, their ankles from kind of like twisting when they hit the concrete. So really important what they do there.
Yes, shout out to you guys, the field crew, for making sure the sand is there and they're not landing their butts on the concrete. Coming up again is Heritage's Caitlin Bradford, who qualified at a seed time of 17:03.5.
She takes a long stance back.
And she's off. She jumps. A great jump from her. Almost fell out of the sand as she jumped.
Ooh, I don't know if I agree with that spot right there. I saw a little bit farther on that one. And still, regardless, that was one of the farthest jumps we've seen today for sure. But honestly, I think she jumped a little bit too early. I don't know if you saw that, but I feel like she jumped a little bit before the line because, as you know, in long jump, you have to jump before a certain marker. And she got a really great distance on it as the next runner comes up.
St. Ford School record holder. She gets a great jump. Let's see what she thinks about it.
She did show a lot of emotion last time.
Not showing a ton of emotion this time. Again, she has broken the school record this year at a seed time, not even a meet time, but a seed time of 18:09, which beat her previous record of 18:08.5.
Now, as I was saying on that previous jump, the jump was great, and I think one of probably, honestly, could have been the longest jump we've seen, but in terms of actual statistical distance, it might not have been the longest because she jumped a little bit before that marker, and I think if she had jumped just before the marker, she would have gotten the largest distance today for sure.
We're going to take a little break. When we come back, we're going to look at the final heights for high jump. It's getting intense over there. We'll see you in 30 seconds. As we welcome you back into historic Frisco ISD Memorial Stadium for the 2019 District Track and Field meet for UIL Region 9 5A. Independence's, Liberty's jumper does not quite get up.
And now we wait for Lebanon Trails runner to make her first jump that we've seen in a while. The line has significantly increased since we were here last time.
And Reedy's pole vaulter, Lauren Guthrie, does not make this height. She sends it back to Kristen Masuki, both of them duking it out at this height. While we were away, Chloe Taylor did not make the height, and now it is between these two.
And this height is significantly higher than when we left off to go to long jump. And so this is going to be interesting to see how Masuki and our Reedy runner are going to handle this, because this is really high. I mean, you look at that and you just think there's no way, but they're getting close.
Here comes Masuki. She jumps, but does... Oh, she... Oh, so close. She hit the pole clearly. However, it wasn't clear if that pole was coming down. The pole came down at the last minute. Unfortunate for her, she does not make this height.
And you had it right there, Christian. For a second, I actually thought she cleared it, but you had the right call. She did touch it, and like I said, these poles are designed to come down at the spot of contact. So, great effort there. Hard to do what she's been doing all day.
Really impressive work from the both of them. It looks as if they are done for right now. We are not quite sure what is happening on the field. However, what you're seeing right now, long jump, the boys are coming up at 12, I should say noon, getting ready for the finals of boys. Long jump will be there for you, and it looks as if the girls' pole vault has ended, and as the runners are hugging it out, not clear who necessarily won. However, great work by all of them. We will be back in a couple of minutes bringing you boys long jump from Frisco ISD Memorial Stadium. Thank you for watching the Frisco Sports Network, powered by Mascot Media. In a mini race of our own, our very own Peter Chung wins the race against Ali. Very nice. We'll be back in 1 minute to bring you boys long jump from historic Frisco ISD Memorial Stadium. Welcome into historic Frisco ISD Memorial Stadium for the 2019 UIL 9-5A District Track Meet exclusively on the Frisco Sports Network. I'm Christian Dutcher. Alongside me is Prabhat Silam Seti, bringing you the best athletes from Frisco ISD. Coming up later at 4 o'clock, we have the preliminary heats for the sprints and relays, but for now we take you to the West End for boys long jump. And previewing the event today, we have 3 flights of 8 or 9 runners, some of the best of the district. Today's favorite is Darius Blackman from Frisco Reedy with a qualifying time of 22:05.75.
And Darius Blackman, he played on our football team as well. If you couldn't tell, I already go to Reedy. But Darius Blackman, he played cornerback, and so he's got the movement, he's got the leg work to be successful in an event like this, long jump. You've got to be able to be agile, you've got to move, and he's a really good athlete. Still got a year left in him before he has to graduate, so I expect to see a lot out of him. Really good athlete and definitely one of the best the district has to offer.
While we're talking about Darius, he currently holds the record for Reedy at a 21-9. However, obviously has beaten that with his seed time, so you can expect a new record for today for Reedy as well as many other schools.
And we see right now the boys just getting ready, moving their legs. A little bit of a different approach than what the girls did before. You saw the girls doing a lot of stretching, and the guys are more just kind of sprinting through the whole thing, running through the sand. And, you know, guys and girls obviously are different, so maybe they're being taught to use that speed to gain momentum. It's always different between our two sets of competition.
Yes, definitely. We're taking you over to girls pole vault while we get ready for the boys long jump. Chloe Taylor cannot make that height, and so now she'll pass it off to Kristen Masuki. It looks like it is now between these two girls. Maybe Chloe Taylor felt like she didn't need to do the last height or whatever it may be. However, she is now going head-to-head with Kristen Masuki from Liberty as she gets set for this height, getting herself psyched up.
And personally, if this keeps going on, I think Masuki has the upper hand. No disrespect, obviously, to Taylor, but Masuki has been the better pole vaulter today. We've seen a lot more concentration from her, more physique, and she's just been the better player today.
Running up, throwing the pole, but cannot clear the height. Both of them did not clear the height, and so we will most likely see them going up against each other.
3:30 p.m. and the running will begin at 4:02. The track will close at 3 o'clock or 3:30 this afternoon, and our prelims running will begin at 4:02.
And if you happen to want to come to the stadium for today or tomorrow's events, the stadium will be closed today from 3 to 4 and reopen at 4 p.m. like we said earlier for today's preliminary events for the sprints and relays. As both events take a break, we will too, and we will come back bringing you the start of the boys long jump. We'll be right back here on the Frisco Sports Network. Welcome back to historic Frisco ISD Memorial Stadium here in Frisco, Texas for the 2019 UIL 9-5A District Track Meet exclusively on your home for Frisco ISD Sports, the Frisco Sports Network. We have boys long jump for you. The first flight has started, and up to run is Heritage's Kyle Bradford, brother of the other Bradford who we saw just a couple minutes ago, and a great run from him.
And both of these brothers right here, they've been, or at least there's a younger brother so far. He had a good run earlier today, so we can expect the same out of him. It runs in the family bloodline for a lot of these people, so we'll see how it goes. And a lot to expect from these male pole vaulters.
Coming up is Memorial's Adam Washington. Everything Memorial does is a record this year, as they are in their first year of varsity play and are setting records every day. He's looking at his result. Can't decide what he thinks about it. I hope he's proud of it, but coming up, we have Lone Star's Jordan Dubry. Nope, sorry. Independence's Kendrick Price, who seeded at a time of 18:06.75. And he is off. And he jumps in a little bit of a different form than we saw in the girls' event, lunging their arms forward. However, clearly not any less effective.
I think right now we're just getting some practice from these pole vaulters, just trying to get their bodies loose and ready to go for the event. And only really 3 of them are in uniform right now, so. But you can see they've got their mindset right. They know what they're looking to do. Obviously not taking the full length of the jump because you don't want to waste your stamina, but just getting the basics down, getting your body warmed up.
Yes, definitely. Here comes another Memorial Warrior. This is Clayton Isaac, who seeded at a time of 19:09. Sorry, this is Johnny Breeden, who seeded at a time of 18:10.5.
And hopefully we don't see any of that today, as he just dropped his pole right there and just fell onto the pylon. But
That's why you practice, so it doesn't happen in the real thing.
That you are right on, my friend. That you are right on.
Now, what you just saw on your screen was Jordan Dupri from Frisco Lone Star. He has the highest seed out of this event at 19:03.5. Almost an entire foot longer than his competitors. Sorry, 2 inches longer than his competitors, not a foot.
And in a minute we'll go down to our field reporter as they get ready to set up to give us a report before the boys pole vault. But as you said about the feet, or inches obviously, as you said, it's competitive. These guys are ready to go. Like we said earlier, it's a matter of inches, so got to get yourself right before the actual event. You want to get yourself ready for the real deal.
What you just saw was Charlie Burkhart from Frisco Wakeland, the lowest seed runner or jumper in this event. Coming up is Kyle Bradford from Frisco Heritage, who is behind the little Running Man logo that you see on your screen. He is stretching, doing a similar technique to his sister that we saw earlier today. Getting his mind right, and he's off. He's running, and he jumps. And a great jump from Kyle Bradford. Interestingly, Kyle Bradford did not have a seed time or seed distance, so he is in the first heat with flight with the lower seeded members.
That was a great jump right there to start his day off. I mean, definitely it could have been the farthest we've actually seen today, honestly. Really great way to start off.
As the ground crew resets, Kyle Rochelle for Frisco Wakeland steps up, and he's off. Wasting no time, he jumps and looks to be a little bit less than Kyle Bradford's, however, nonetheless impressive.
We're seeing these guys get a lot of distance right here on these runs. I mean, they're making some huge strides. And that jumping form, really different from what we're seeing from the girls. They, instead of the girls putting their toes out, like the girls put their toes out, lean back, almost go like 180 at a diagonal. We see the guys kind of lunge their chest forward, and their stomach and hips, their upper body kind of lunge it forward, as we'll see right here probably.
Here's Caleb Ellis, but they throw the disqualification flag. This one does not count, as he might have jumped too late or whatever the reason may be. He will not be able to use the distance which he got, which seemed a lot further than the others. So, good eye by the line judge, whatever you call him. Next up for Frisco Memorial is Adam Washington, who had the same seed time as Caleb Ellis. He's off and he jumps. They call it good. However, a little bit shorter than what we've been seeing from the other men today.
Definitely. And speaking of Memorial, first-year school, he's got a chance to break school records. Set school records today, actually. Whatever he is able to put up, obviously he's got someone else from his school, but if he's able to put up some good numbers today, he could be the school record holder. First year in the meet. He's got a good chance.
And not only him, there are 3 warriors in any of the 3 heats who are running, hoping to make school history for their school. Coming up is Kendrick Price from Independence. He is off. He's running, jumps. They call it good. A little bit less, looks a little bit further than what we saw from Adam Washington, but overall not as far as what we've seen from the likes of Kyle Bradford. So, speaking of Kyle Bradford, it seems like we've been saying his name a lot in the heat. Is this our favorite for the heat?
It's a good question. I think, you really can't tell. Sometimes these guys are just, they come out of nowhere sometimes almost. You never, in districts especially, like the years past don't always reflect how people are to run the next year, so it's difficult to say. I think definitely he is one of the better ones that we're going to see today, but you can't count anybody else out because everyone has had time to improve. Everyone's had the same amount of training time to learn, and so I would say he's definitely going to be one of the ones we have to we'll keep an eye out for, but there's a lot of other guys too, so we should be looking forward to see how they perform as well.
What you saw earlier on your screen was Johnny Breeden get DQ'd for that time. He will have to do it again. That one does not count. However, Jordan Dupree from Frisco Lone Star jumps pretty far again, not as far as Kyle Bradford, but further for the ones that did seed going into this heat. The bottom left-hand corner of your screen, you can see this is Charlie Burkhart coming up for Wakeland. Again, did not seed. He jumps. It looks like it was a disqualification, and yes, the ref does call it. His foot was very far over that line. Almost looked like 2 feet over the line. Just a timing issue, I think.
And Charlie Burkhart played for the Wakeland Wolverines football team, was a fullback and a running back for them, so again, knows how to use his feet, knows how to be explosive. It's a big thing, a part of long jump, explosiveness. You've got to be able to take really, it looks like a lot, but it's really not. It's a short distance to get your feet fully accelerating, jumping at the right time. So we'll see if he can use some of that, some of the things he learned in football season to apply here today and get his distance up.
At the bottom left-hand corner of your screen, you see Kyle Bradford, the man we've been talking about all heat. He's getting his strides in as his sister does. He goes, he jumps. It's a little close to call. They're going to call it good. And a little bit further jump than we saw last time from Kyle Bradford. It looks like he maybe hurt his leg, maybe just sweeping off some of the stand, doing something with his thighs.
And I think that right there was the farthest jump we've seen today, without a doubt. He was pretty much flying there for a second. And that new technique, he did start off the same way that his sister did, with those leg stretches almost. And then we saw him kind of just thrust his stomach out and just kind of momentarily fly for a second. And that was impressive right there. Like I said, Bradford is definitely one you have to keep an eye out for as another disqualification right there.
Yes,
for the
another disqualification for Kevin Rochelle of the Wakeland Wolverines. So they both did not get to use this and lost one of their opportunities to try to get a better distance.
But yeah, like you said, but like we were saying, Bradford coming out as one of the favorites now. I mean, his distance has really been unparalleled by anyone else so far today. He has just been fantastic in all regards.
Getting a little shaken is Caleb Ellis, who runs. He jumps. It's a little close to call, but they're going to call it a DQ. He will not get to use that, and that's his second disqualification of the day. What does that say about his footing?
Well, I think not just him in general, but I think a lot of the guys we're seeing, frankly, too many disqualifications from these guys. I mean, when we were watching the girls, we really didn't see any disqualifications at all. And I think we've seen almost 7 or 8 today, so we've got to, I mean, the guys just got to have more discipline, honestly. I think they know how to run as the next runner comes up and gets a good distance. But the discipline that these runners need to have is they need to realize where the marker is, and they need to be able to jump before that, because, I mean, obviously the worst thing that can happen in this event is a disqualification on your time or your run. So at worst, you're not going to get the best jump ever, but you don't want just a flat 0. So I think a lot of these guys are just probably being too ambitious, trying to really sneak it past that line and get the farthest distance. So I think we need to see these guys kind of pull back a little bit, or at least be more cautious about where the marker is, so they don't lose these times.
Yes, they're getting a little too excited, in my opinion, kind of running. Here comes Kendrick Price with a good jump and a little stumble, but doesn't necessarily fall onto his feet or onto his butt.
And that's the tough thing about this event. It's all about finding the middle ground, the balance. You don't want to jump too far away from the line, but at the same time, you don't want to get too close to it, because it's difficult when your legs are moving that fast and you're going full speed about to jump. It's difficult to kind of put your feet where their land is. You'll see right here.
And that was Johnny Breeden from Frisco Memorial, whose jump is good. Remember last time his was disqualified, so good that he's adhering to our advice, which he cannot hear.
And when we look at the typical boys long-range jumps in the district, they're anywhere from 18.5 feet to 22.5 feet. So the favorites will be hitting the line in the third and probably find the flight. So it's going to be, we're going to see this a lot, but obviously the distance is higher on these guys, so it should be interesting.
And what you just saw on your screen was Jordan Dupree from Lone Star, the highest or longest seed distance for his heat at 1903. Got a very good jump, almost resembling Kyle Bradford's form. Obviously, that's not a bad thing, because both of them have been doing really well in this heat. It'll be interesting to see which one comes out on top going into the finals. And it looks as if that is the end of Flight 1 for the boys, and Flight 2 is getting prepared to step up. A little bit of introductions, I guess, are in order for long jump. We have Josh Barber from Frisco Reedy seating at 1906, Aaron Taylor out of Frisco 1908.5, Max Sauerwin from Frisco at 1909, Clayton Isaac from Memorial at 1909, Saquon Washington from Liberty at 1910.5, Tyron Hall from Lone Star at 1911.5, Glenn Mabaku from Heritage at 2002.25, and Keone Trailer from Frisco Independence at 2003. All of them are coming up, as you can see in your lower left-hand corner of the screen, setting their marks kind of putting the tape down, and that tape is important to these runners. What you'll see is they use this to kind of figure out where they put their foot so that their footing is okay, so that they don't get a disqualification like we saw a lot from the first heat.
In a news update, we've got a record break here in our meet. Darius Blackman, who was holding the current Reedy record, is holding the current Reedy record right now.
What I think he's trying to say is that Darius Blackman holds the record for Frisco Reedy at a seed time of 22:05, which is greater than the current school record.
Thank you.
Taking a look at the records for these schools, you can look at some amazing distances. Both Frisco and Heritage share a 24.5 distance for the school. Independence has 22.6. Lebanon Trail has 25. Liberty has 22.10.5. Lone Star has 23. And Reedy has 21.9. Obviously, the one of these that are still going to the school is Reedy. And I think that's a constant you can count on from Reedy, is that a lot of the record holders are still going to the school, and so you will be able to see that they are still at the school and still competing, whereas other schools such as Frisco, their record holders may be 30-year-olds now. Reedy's still a very young school, and have had time to develop seniors, unlike schools like Memorial, who currently only have a junior class.
I mean, when we look at the district record for the long jump, it's currently 24.5 feet by Chesley Johnson at Frisco High School. So an impressive jump right there. And then Christian, get this, the state record, which is 11 years old. So this has been standing for a very long time. 26.5 inches. That is what you call crazy.
That is very impressive. I don't even know if our sand pit goes that far. That's how impressive that is. You see the runners on your screen are getting ready, getting set, getting their steps in the right positions as they prepare for the second flight of today's event. Looking back at that district record, you wouldn't believe this, but not only is it Frisco that holds the district, Frisco's Chelsea Johnson that holds the record, but tied it is Kane Nwagu from Heritage. I probably butchered that, but it's okay. He currently holds a 24-foot 5.5 record as well, so very impressive from the both of them.
And just another fun fact here for you. The oldest state record in any event is the 110-meter hurdles, which was set back in 1980 for the girls. That's almost, for guys, excuse me. That's almost 40 years old.
That is crazy. And speaking of crazy, we've got our on-field reporter, Brooke Barker. She is talking with one of the runners from today, and she is ready with her. Let's send it down to her. A great interview from Brooke Barker. We'll be right back with the start of the second flight for the boys long jump here exclusively on the Frisco Sports Network, presented by Mascot Media. And we're about to send it down to our on-field reporter, Brooke Barker, who has a Wakeland runner ready with an interview. Take it away, Brooke.
Hi, I'm Brooke Barker, and I'm here with Kevin from Wakeland, who just finished his long jump event. So, how do you feel like you've prepared for the season? Who do you think has helped you get to where you are this season? That's awesome. All right, good job today.
Thank you, Brooke. And alongside me now is Eli Burke. We're going to talk through the girls' pole vault results from today's event.
Thank you, Christian. It was kind of an upset victory here. Memorial actually took home the win. Chloe Taylor clearing 11 feet 6 inches on her first attempt, getting 10 points for Memorial. Although Kristen Masucci was also able to clear that 11'6" mark, she did it on her third attempt, which means that Liberty will take second place, taking home 8 points. Lauren Guthrie able to get that 11-foot mark, not quite getting the 11.6. Will get 6 points for Reedy High School. Sarah Bartley for Centennial comes up in fourth with no prior failed attempts, but eventually stopping at 9 feet, getting 5 points. 4 points goes to Leah Roning at Heritage. 3 points goes to Lone Star with Taylor Parrott, who we were looking at earlier, who ended up stopping at 8'6", and also at 8'6" on her second attempt was Abby Gilday from Centennial. So overall recap on the team scores: Memorial with 10, Liberty with 8, Centennial with 7, Reedy with 6, Heritage with 4, and Lone Star with 3.
And that's only through the first event, so obviously lots to change. However, a good start for the newcomer of the district, Frisco Memorial, and obviously a great run by the established Frisco Liberty. We're about to get set for boys long jump. The field crew is on as the first flight is getting prepared as the second flight, I should say, is getting prepared. You can see sort of behind the graphic on your screen, that is Joshua Barber, a football player and basketball player for the Reedy Lions. He qualified at a distance of 19.06, just barely pushing him into the second flight.
And a quick update, when Eli just came on, he told us that Memorial got the upset win. When we talked about it earlier, Memorial has a chance to set a school record. That just happened. That's their school record. So he now holds the school record for the long jump.
Yes, so congratulations to Chloe Taylor, who set the new school record for 11.6. And here comes Josh Barber jumping. They're going to call it no good as he crossed the orange cones you can see on your screen next to that second line.
Girls pole vault, girls long jump, and boys shot put. You need to report to the 50-yard line. We need the top finishers in the girls
Coming up next from Frisco High School is Aaron Taylor. He jumps, and it's good. The first qualifying jump of this flight for Frisco High School.
Not the biggest jump that we've seen today. Got a good start on it. The sprint looked great, but just not enough on the jump to get the distance that he wanted.
Coming up also from Frisco High School is Max Sauerwein, who is able to edge out his teammate with a 19:09 time or distance compared to a 19:08.5. Again, those inches or even half inches in some cases matter in everything.
top four finishers in the girls pole vault, girls long jump.
And here comes Max. He's running. He jumps. They're going to call it good, and it looks a little bit longer. We're going to call it longer than Aaron Taylor's jump, but just barely a great jump by both of them.
On the 50-yard line.
And I think he got more height on that jump than he did in terms of actual length. He got very high up on the jump, but didn't get the length he wanted. Still a good jump regardless, but I think he wanted to go a little farther than he did.
A possible suggestion for him might to be a little bit longer jump than a higher jump. And stepping up to the lane is Clayton Isaac from Frisco Memorial, possibly a school record to be set today. He jumps, and it's good, the furthest jump we've seen out of this flight, no question. He also seated at the same time as Max Sauerwin, so impressive jump from him. Approaching the podium is the girls pole vault champions and runner-ups. We're about to get that ceremony underway, but not before Saquon Washington steps up to the lane from Liberty. He qualified at a distance of 19:10.5. Taking a little step, a little stretch. And he's running. He jumps. It's good, and a little tumble from him, but nonetheless a good jump.
A great jump right there. He almost looked like he lost control a little bit as he got into the air, almost went sideways on his landing, but still a great jump, great form. Again, talking about that form that we're seeing from a lot of these guys, getting their stomach out and kind of trying to propel themselves forward. And good jump right there by Washington.
Stepping up on the lane, you cannot see it on your screen, but this is Lone Star's Tyron Hall, who qualified at a distance of 19:11.5. As you can see on your screen, here are the results from the preliminary girls varsity. You have I'm being told that these are not the results that we listed out earlier. Obviously, some of those have changed, like we told you earlier, so you can go ahead and ignore this stat. As you can see on your screen, the boys are getting ready. Here is Glenn Mabaku from Frisco Heritage, who qualified with a distance of 20:02.25. He jumps, and they call it good. One of the furthest jumps we've seen from this second flight.
And a great jump right there by Mbaku. And as we said earlier, the third flight, we're going to expect a lot of high flyers in that one. But slowly but surely, we're seeing a steady increase in our jumping, in our jump distance, I should say.
Stepping up on the lane is Keontae Trailer from Independence. He qualified at a distance of 20:03. And he's looking to make a statement here. The best qualifying distance for his heat. They call it good. And that was a good jump from him.
It's a good jump definitely from him, but I think we both know that he can definitely do better than that. This guy is a dynamic jumper. We expect to see a lot more out of him. So good jump nonetheless, but I think we can expect to see him go farther than what he just pulled off.
I definitely agree. Stepping up on the lane, taking his jacket off, it's the one, the only Josh Barber from Frisco Reedy High School, seating at a distance of 19:06. He's getting a little shimmy in, a little stretch before he runs. And he doesn't like it. That's disqualified. Doesn't even try to jump. Just realized his stepping was off. And that's his second DQ. He has one more attempt before he gets put in as just DQ overall. No time whatsoever.
Thankfully, this is not a cumulative, so they take this is not a cumulative event, so they take your best time, as you see a good jump right there from our Frisco high athlete. But this event is not a cumulative where it doesn't add up. They take your best jump, so Barber's got to make sure that this last one is a good one.
Yes, definitely. What you just saw on your screen was Aaron Taylor. Again, a good jump from him. We can expect to see a little bit better jump from his teammate Max Sauerwein. Again, these two teammates very close in distance. They finished seating just 0.5 of an inch apart from each other. Max Sauerwein goes, he jumps, it's good, and a great jump from Sauerwein.
That was a great jump right there. A lot of distance on that one. Kind of made like someone like a starfish almost when he put all of his legs and hands out to get the distance. And definitely not a style we've seen today in terms of the jump, but it worked for him and a good jump right there. Frisco High actually doing a really good job here today on this long jump.
Could not agree more. Stepping up after the Frisco High tandem duo is Clayton Isaac from Frisco Memorial in the bright yellow and gold, or gold and black, I should say. He gets a little stretching, getting his feet set, and he goes, he's running, and he jumps, and it's good. It looked like the line judge was having a little bit hard time deciding whether he should pull out the red flag or go ahead and give him the white, but a great jump nonetheless.
Sometimes you have to decide whether, being the lines judge, people don't think it's too hard of a job, but it is actually difficult when you see these kids run up with the speed that they're going at, being really fast. You have to kind of make a decision in that split second, and a lot rides on it. So you've got to be careful in those moments what to call a run dead or not. But correct decision, I think, right there. And honestly, not the best jump we've seen today from him.
Could not agree more. Again, shout out to all the refs and line judges who work with Frisco ISD and provide athletes with an opportunity to shine on the field every Friday night or whichever night they play.
Definitely.
Up on the track running is Saquon Washington from Liberty, who seated at a distance of 19:10.5. Not necessarily the best jump we've seen from him.
And we'll get a quick break right here as our winners for the long jump girls are being announced.
Let's take it down to the podium. Congratulations to these pole vaulters, and obviously the new school record for the Memorial Warriors, set by Chloe Taylor.
A great job really by Taylor today. I mean, Christian, we look back at it, she didn't have the best start to this event. I mean, she was kind of struggling for a while. It looked like Reedy was going to take this event by a landslide, and then it kind of shifted back to the other school, and then you just don't know. But at one point, Taylor kind of said, I've got to turn this around, and that's exactly what she did. And for her to come out on top and set the precedent, for her school to win and excel really in this event is really impressive. So a really great job by Taylor today, and great effort by all these girls, really.
And you can see her and her coach, Coach Craig, celebrating, obviously not on your screen, but over on the field, having a great time celebrating this victory, not only but for her, but for the school. A great job by Chloe Taylor and the Memorial Warriors.
And we will take a quick break. When we come back, we will get back to boys long jump. This has been the Frisco Sports Network on Mascot Media. Thank you so much for being here with us. And we will send it down to our crew on the podium for girls long jump. And we are back. Welcome to historic Frisco ISD Memorial Stadium for the 2019 UIL 95A District Track Meet, exclusively here on the Frisco Sports Network. Again, I'm Christian Dutcher. Alongside me is Prabhat Seelam Seti, bringing you the best athletes from Frisco ISD. We send you down now to the east end, where we have boys pole vault. And boys pole vault, we've been waiting on this one for a long time, but now we'll get to see some of our boy athletes after we saw our female athletes take on the mantle.
Alright, scratch that. Where boys pole vault is taking a little bit of a break, so we're going to send you down to the west end for boys long jump.
Do you think you could put a graph?
Welcome back. Sorry, a little bit of a technical difficulties. We're sending you down to boys pole vault for today's action. Right now we have we just had Lone Star running or pole vaulting.
And as you can see right now, just some practice runs from the Lone Star athletes, just trying to get a feel for the track and the sand and getting a jump across. As we can see right now, our athletes just talking to the judge, making sure, briefing them on the rules and getting ready for the event.
Welcome back for the third time. We've gotten everything worked out. We're sending you down to the East End for boys pole vault. On the line, you have Lone Star's Zach Moore, who qualified at a seed of 12:03, and he's off. And he jumps, but doesn't quite make it. The pole was a little slow and was scared he was going to come down on the concrete. A little interesting, was able to fall onto the foam, but a little bit worrisome. Didn't gain enough speed, I presume.
Yeah, I was worried about that too. It looked like definitely wasn't going to make it over the line, and then you start to worry for the runner if he's going to come down, but great job by him making sure to ensure his safety.
Obviously, we never want to see a runner hurt, and so that's important. Coming up and hitting the pole is Nathan Bates. He will not qualify for that height. Up next, it looks to be Zach Moore, as it is between these two to finish out this height.
And this should be interesting. A good finish between these two. Let's see what Zach Moore can do on this final jump right here.
Again, both these athletes qualifying at the seed time of 12:03. They're kind of getting themselves together. Obviously, Zach Moore a little bit worried, worried about the pole actually getting enough momentum in order to get over the pole and not just straight up. It takes a lot of body strength. We were talking about this earlier with the girls, and so if you can't kind of it, you need a lot of arm muscle to get up, or else you kind of do what Zach did this just then.
Yeah, you do. And more than anything, if you don't have that arm strength, it's not just the fact of not getting over the line. It's also your own safety that you're putting at risk, because you have to be able to land and get on top of the padding so you have a safe landing. If you don't use those triceps and those biceps to kind of vault yourself over the line, it can be dangerous. So definitely something these runners and players put an emphasis on, especially with the coaches. They want to make sure that their players are safe, and especially that they're insured for success at the event.
Certainly so. Up next, Zach Moore, like we've been saying, worried about the pole getting up high enough. He's a little bit hesitant on his first step, but he decides to go. He's going, and just barely gets over, but that's the least of his worries, as the pole does not, as the pole is hit, and that does not qualify.
He kind of had a strange, I don't know if you saw it, he kind of had a strange attempt at running up. It wasn't a full sprint like we've seen from others. He kind of high-stepped it in a way. Maybe he's trying to give his legs some energy and or maybe his knees some momentum when he was jumping up, but definitely unorthodox from what we've seen from the rest of the runners today.
And unfortunately, this most likely means that Zach Moore will not be moving on. Finally, on his third attempt is Nathan Bates from Memorial. Again, both of these men qualified at the same seat height, 12:03. A little bit of struggling to put the pole back on the height by the pole crew, but looks like everything's set. Nathan Bates will take a little bit of a stretch, getting himself ready, and he's off. A little bit of a gallop there to start, and he is over. A good job to him. You kind of notice he pushed the pole away from him as he was going up. I don't know if this is technique or not, so that it wouldn't hit the pole, and he'll be moving on to the next height. Congratulations to Nathan Bates.
And you almost see it right there. He almost got so high that he almost fell off the padding. It was honestly one of the best jumps we've seen today. So credit to Nathan Bates. Again, that was his final jump right there too. So a lot riding on that line, and great effort by him to get above that and move on to the next round.
Obviously, if you're a runner, you hope to see that come on later on when you need that high of a jump. Maybe a little bit frustrating for these when they put so much energy into it and get way over the height, and you're like, oh, well, I could have done it higher. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. It's just a thing about, not every jump is obviously the same. Every jump is different, and that's not always the fault of the runner. There's so many things that you have to take into account. Sometimes you just get a better start off your feet. Sometimes you plant the pole in the right direction and it bends your way. So many things you can't calculate. Wind, I mean the surf, everything that goes on with this event. There's so many small things, and so you never know what can happen, but that's why they teach these runners the techniques and the best ways to keep the results constant and improving. So again, great job by both of them, but Nathan Bates really blew it out of the park here on this event.
Now, if it looks as if what I think it does, that this means that Nathan Bates has won the event. Now, not only has he won the event, but like Chloe Taylor, he has also set a school record, with this being Memorial's first year. How impressive is it for two Memorial pole vaulters to set not only school records, but win the event?
Well, honestly, it's really impressive. This is their first year at the track meet, and they've swept the pole vault in both events, boys and girls, and really, they're both really good comeback stories, because at the beginning, just like our winner from a girls pole vault winner, she didn't have a great start, and neither did Nathan Bates. He really was kind of struggling at the beginning. We kind of saw Lone Star taking advantage of that, but he came back and really his final jump was just really a thing of beauty, really getting over there and having a great jump. And so for Memorial to come out here today and win really and sweep the event as they now start to close up the padding, it's really just a great start from Memorial. You have to think maybe they put an emphasis on wanting to win this event this year, and that's another school record. So really good job by Memorial today at the pole vault. And we've seen they've been doing well at long run too, but this is something that Memorial can definitely be proud of when they go back to school, and something they should celebrate with their student athletes. A great job by them today.
Like we said, a big congratulations from us up here in the booth from to Chloe Taylor, Nathan Bates, and obviously their Coach Craig, for a great, not only setting school record, but winning, and not only winning, but sweeping the event. In a couple of minutes, we'll be back bringing you the conclusion of the third flight for boys long jump. Stick with us. We'll be right back here on the Frisco Sports Network, presented by Mascot Media. Welcome back to Frisco ISD Memorial Stadium for the 2019 UIL 95A District Track Meet exclusively here on the Frisco Sports Network. I'm Christian Dutcher, and alongside me is Eli Burke to break down what has happened this morning and the winners of the shot put and long jump.
Thank you, Christian. So we have the girls' long jump results for you today. The taking home first through sixth is we'll be taking our points. So from Liberty is Sonia Ford jumping 18 feet 4 inches, taking home 10 points. Caitlin Bradford, Zoe Hightower, and Charlie Foreman, all coming from Heritage, take second, third, and fourth respectively, jumping 17-7, 17-5, and 17-4. So all really close to each other. So collectively, we'll be taking 18 points for Heritage. In fifth place is Sophie Knotts from Lebanon Trail, also a basketball player, so using her jumping ability on the court and now on the track. We're jumping a 17-3, taking home 2 points for Lebanon Trail. And then rounding out from Lone Star is Gabrielle Miller, jumping a 16-10.25 to get 1 point for Lone Star. So now updated women track results is Heritage takes the lead with 20 points. Liberty's not that far behind with 18. Memorial's with 10. Reedy with 6. Centennial with 4. Lone Star 2. And Lebanon Trail tied with them with 2. And then jumping over to the boys' side, they have their shot put results are in. And taking home first place there from Heritage is Zach Vererka, throwing 46.6.5. That's 10 points to Heritage. Then Jalen Leverett from Lebanon Trail throwing 43.11, getting 8 points for his school. Will Harbor from Reedy comes in third with 42.8, taking home 6 points. And then Joshua Birch from Liberty with a 41.2, getting 4 points. The freshman has actually won the shot put event for Heritage, Zach Vererka. In fifth place is John Ogabedi from Centennial, throwing 40 feet 4 inches for 2 points. And then rounding out the points is Logan Butler from Memorial, taking home 1 point. So the men's standards in total, Heritage with 10, Lebanon Trail with 8, Reedy with 6, Liberty with 4, Centennial with 2, and Memorial with 1 point.
Really impressive work from these guys. We're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we will have the conclusion of the boys' long jump and the results from all the other events taking place the first half this morning. We'll be right back here on the Frisco Sports Network presented by Mascot Media.